Hi Taurus, if you want to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. I've made your scroll here, made in your name and essence, and I will grab it in 2 shakes of the lamb's tail. If you'd like to take a screenshot, so you can scry on your own time and terms for any shapes or symbols that stand out and speak to your psyche and psychic senses. Taurians, if you'd like to join me to close the eyes, cleansing the palate, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. Taurians, when you're ready, thank you as always for holding space for me to share my insights. Please see, sense, and feel for your own. Let's dig in. Okay, so this divination dose is the threshold between November and December. So I look forward to your full rorschach and a reading in December for December. But in the here and now of this threshold, and it's coming clear, like right here. I'm seeing like a wrench, plumber's wrench specifically. Could have something to do with maybe you're holding back emotionally, or there's just something emotional you're feeling very strong about, and you've put up a boundary. There's a crown on top of your head, and I don't know if those are rosebuds in your cheeks. It's like, so on one hand, I feel like an emotional block, or maybe it's just simply, if I'm may go down the other rabbit hole, some Taurians might be in a like an emotional standstill, and others are like fixing their plumbing. They're like, no, I'm also an emotional being. Like, yes. I may be, this, that, apply any traits that you wish that feel and feel fitting for you. But there's still water running through you, whether you sweat it out or toss a tear. There is an emotional element to existing. And it's like Taurian energy has found a grounding strength in that. Like there likes to be stability in the Taurian energy. And if you can almost like grab hold of that emotional intelligence and see it as an intelligence and feel it as an intelligence, you become even stronger. And that's how this feels. This creative rosebuds, almost like dimples, have come through again to be like, oh, I can be even stronger if I see this intelligence, this emotion as an intelligence, as a communication source, as another clue. The crown. And you got the crown, Taurians. There's definitely something about the crown. I'm also seeing a crab. Again, it's blue in nature, so there might have been something that just kind of is sticking in your craw, and that is igniting this for you to kind of like plant your stake of your own stability of the heart and the mind. And again, if the Taurians love you not only love stability, but structure so that there's success, right? Success. And sometimes harnessing those emotions. And I'm seeing like the magician, and you're like, oh, I can actually have these emotions work to my favor. And then I see the crab turn into a bow. It's like, oh, okay. See how that transformation happened? That was really, really interesting how quickly that happened. I'm also seeing an octopus, but the tentacles are rolled in. I don't know. I just feel like something might have caused, could be like this crab energy, could be a Cancer, or just something. Land and water, it goes between the two. Sometimes it just bugs you on land and physical realm, and sometimes it bugs you in the emotional realm. But it's like, and it kind of sideways, right? It's like you're able to transform it into a bow, but then it can sideswipe again. So you put up this boundary. I'm also seeing the game croquet. I don't know if it feels like a game, or maybe that's what's going on. Like you almost feel like you're navigating a game and you're like, I don't want to play games. I don't want to play games. I want to tie this with a bow and move on, right? Like I don't know how else to explain it. But in lieu, so I feel like as you're manifesting particular things, Taurians, in anything that is just making you crabby is telling you something, and you're noticing, and you're like, this is making me crabby. There's an intelligence here, and I'm going to use it to my advantage because it's for you. It's for you. And whoever is, if it's external to you, whoever the crab is, unfortunately, Taurians are onto you, and you're going to be contained, and their tentacles are going to roll in, and you're not going to have access to that anymore. Because it's almost like other people can see it and sense it, so they gravitate to it, right, Taurians? I'm also seeing a big smile with teeth, like showing teeth. I don't know if you tend to be like a subtle smiler, like, but something like with just big teeth smiling. Also, I don't know if somebody had dreams about when they were a kid, or even like a monster under the bed. And I don't know if that's maybe part of the Taurian collective energy right now. Like you're laying on top of the bed and you're all comfy cozy, but you can get a sense that something, it's like that crab, right? It's something. You're waiting for something to pinch you. And you're going to wake up from a dream that you're having. If things are going well in your life and you're just like, I'm just waiting for something to pinch me and wake me up from this. Or other rabbit hole, if I may, because it's very clearly coming in, is saying like, everything's ooey gooey. Am I going to get the pinch? Or are you laying there going, oh, I'm so comfortable in this life right now. Everything's so good, but I have such an anxiety that there's something under my bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously putting it on a scale that maybe could resonate whatever channel, right? Personal, professional, this, that, or the other. We're here for Taurians, if we don't mind. Taurians. And I feel like that's the intelligence sometimes. Like, is there something under my bed? Like, there's always looking for an alternative perspective. Okay. What do we have here? Of a listening. Metamorphosis. I'm going to take them. Strength and Ghostlands. Taurians. And on the bottom, we have home. And this is what makes me feel really nice in the Taurian energy. Like, I feel like where you're at emotionally and earthly is comfortable. You're comfortable. Maybe you don't have everything you want just yet, but there's success brewing. You're making all the steps. You're doing all the steps, and then hopefully resting as well. But that's where I'm seeing you rest. So I'm assuming you are. But it's like in those moments of surrendering and resting, you're like, oh, is something going to pinch me and wake me up? Or is there, a monster under my bed? And it's interesting because as I looked down at your ink blot and I saw a bed, and then I saw you as the monster under the bed is your mind. Thinking there's one under the bed. Does that make sense? And now I'm also in the movie The Labyrinth, and there's door knockers. It's like picking a door of perspective almost, like which one? See, it's like the mind, what I saw is a smile before, and it's like I see this like grimace character. And with these like guns ablazing. And it's like, Taurians, what happened? What happened to this comfort? This comfort. Don't be your own worst enemy type feeling is truly what I'm hearing. Like, just don't be your own worst enemy. I am ready for anything. And then, but your crown and your rosebuds are now put under the bed, and it's like, but I'm protecting them. And it's like, but you, okay. Okay, I don't know. If it's very comical, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, Taurians. It feels comical. All right. So we have here listening and a metamorphosis. Strength in ghostlands. Okay, I'm going to take a moment because this whole listening thing, it's like listening to your own mind music. Is it soothing? When your mind is racing on, or your emotions are racing on, or your emotions, better yet, are triggering certain thoughts. And is your mind music on a nice channel? Like, are you actually listening? I was going to swear there. Are you listening to shit that you would actually enjoy if it's your own mind? Right? Like, if I don't know how else to say that. But it's like, yeah, I kind of get stumbly because I feel like a particular defensiveness, and I'm not trying to poke. I'm actually trying to tune in to the music of your mind. But there is a Taurian energy, all, maybe this is what you're doing. Maybe this is the threshold. Maybe this is it. And this is why it's a little tongue twistery, because there is all this above and below, and the mind and what's hidden and what's apparent, and the surrendering and the strength and all this great Taurian stuff. And it feels so comfortable, but can I relax, and can I trust the comfort? There's some sort of metamorphosis happening, and that's why it might feel a little unpredictable. But just because something's unpredictable, does it mean there's a monster under the bed? Does it ignite, daddy defense within the dominion of the mind? I don't know, ghosts of the past have made you strong, have made you stronger. Almost so wise that you can get in your own way really, really easily. And there's a lot of strength here. What else do we have here for the Taurian energy? Oh, we're actually going over there. All right. And I'm going to keep gazing at your ink blot here because Taurians, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit fascinating. It's a little bit fascinating. Seeing a Fraggle, like Fraggle Rock. There might be a lot of stuff that's being done in like the subcon realm. I feel like that was a little bit of a blank slate there. And I'm not sure how much time passed, Taurians, but that's kind of how it feels like. Do we know how much time is passing when you're thinking about these things? It might only feel like a few moments or a few days, but really the thought effect on the bottom journey is actually taking more time. Indecision, third chakra, Archangel Chamuel. We have man holding a heart in the world. This is what I feel like you're defensive about, is your light. Is your light. Is your light. Because you have spent a lot of time cultivating certain stabilities in your spaces of self, soul, and spirit. Professional, personal, marriage, children, whatever those channels are, relationships, platonic. You've been almost very strategic about it. And you do align with your heart. And I hate to poke the bear. But what about the mind music, right? Getting the mind and the heart aligned brings about this metamorphosis. because I feel like your intellectual thoughts and your emotional intelligence sometimes can kind of ex-nay each other. Then come together. This is in the male energy too. Expression could be either or anything, but this is about the male energy of Taurians. Because you've got it. You have the strength of the whole world. It's like something's frozen in time. You might have a slightly outdated way of thinking and doing. And it's almost like you're aware of it. Right? Monster under the bed feel. You're like, but is there? Or am I just going through a typical thought processes that will inevitably get you to what you want to do? What you would typically do. But it's not like, but your energy has expanded. It's expanded, and it is asking to be more than meets the eye. And maybe that's it. Maybe this is a perception from others, and maybe or including yourself, that you're just, all meat suit or all mind. And really you're like, no, I'm multidimensional, but I have to protect that. I'd like to ask more about this indecision, if you don't mind, Taurians, before I let you go. Because it's even kind of coming up in where we were emotionally in this, like you could go either way. Here for the Taurians, please. Taurian energy. What will make them smile? What will make Taurians smile? So like your teeth are showing and piano music is being played around you as you're, living life. Is there something that we can offer to inspire the Taurians? Okay, so we have here Lady of Submersibles, Navigator of Leviathians. Oops, there we go. There's that higher perspective. We'll take one more for the Taurian energy. No. Seven of Submersibles. Okay. Give me 2 shakes here, Taurians. And let's dive in. Okay. So there's the feminine. The feminine energy has a corset in that emotional waters. If there is something that kind of left you feeling like a void at some point in time, an emotional void, maybe it's a regret, this, that, or the other, but I feel like my best advice is to say, let that image sink in your mind and move on, because you're being called to higher things. Like if you keep focusing on that, the monster under the bed or this, that, or the other, you could be missing out on what it is you've actually been cultivating all these years. You could be missing the moment. Does that make sense, Taurians? 12. I feel like December could be like really closing out a particular cycle if you've been going through something where this kind of meets, Taurians. And like this is a very deep reading. And I want that to be known and felt. This is a significantly deep reading. Like everything underneath in your world is very emotional, freezing and intelligence. But then it's also for everything, the metamorphosis of everything on earth. So it's emotionally and earthly, and getting the mind and heart in harmony, because it just feels like this crab could be you in your critical thinking, maybe a little bit more creative thinking, or if you're too creative, a little bit more critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's like a dance. It's a dance between the two that brings, it's like as your navigator of higher sights, of things that you've actually been working towards, as you're feminine emotional intelligence. And it's just in this situation, it feels more feminine for one reason or another. There's a lot of power in the energy of that. But your masculine energy is looking out for it. So as the feminine or the emotional emerges, it's like then the earthly expression can there you are. And come aboard my ship. You can be here, but then you can also jump in the water whenever you want. There's no imprisonment here. The Taurians are like, no, I want you to be comfortable. This is the bliss of the home. I want you to come home. I want you to be here. 7 of submersibles. Looking deep in through that card. Together, your male and female aspects, the emotions and the intellectual and the mind come together. Unfreeze time because they're stronger together. We're better together. And a whole new world opens up. Right there. Taurians, I'm going to leave it there. There's 2 headlights that shine on this one thing, and that's what you're working towards. And it's there. It's there in your ink blot. It's there. I don't know what else to say, but it's like time is unfreezing, and you are the one that can unfreeze it. You are the one that can dispel the monster under the bed. You are the one that will make a decision. Because you are shiny. You are one of the shiny ones. Protect without pulling yourself down. Because the metamorphosis is there. Head and heart, my dear friends. I will leave it there. I really look forward to seeing what you're up to. Not only in December, but kind of in the new year to come. I'm not going to lie. Like, this feels very promising for me. And I was like, wow, I want to see what the Taurians do with this, because not only is your own world going to feel full, but that is shared out into the collective. And that is an incredible, incredible feeling. And all the signs could be very grateful for that stabilizing energy to know that you're home. Okay, Taurians. Till next time, thank you for scrying with me.